A country where people can't choose their own hairstyle, wear jeans, or even make international phone calls. That place is North Korea. But what if I told you the rules don't just control daily life, they control your name, your thoughts, even how you cry at a funeral? In today's video, we're uncovering the most mysterious and strange rules inside North Korea. Rules that sound more like a scary movie than real life. From forced haircuts to government-controlled love, these secrets will leave you speechless. Stay with me. What you're about to hear is not fiction. Deadly mistakes in North Korea. Falling asleep sounds harmless, right? We all do it in school, at work, maybe while watching TV, but in North Korea, even a yawn can turn deadly. Back in 2015, the country's defense minister, Han Yong-chol, made the mistake of nodding off during a military rally. Instead of just being scolded or fired, he was executed by orders of Kim Jong-un himself. Why? Just for dozing off in public? It wasn't a quiet punishment either. It was a message to everyone. Don't be lazy. Don't disrespect the leader. But it gets even scarier. The very next year, the education minister, Kim Yong-jin, was seen slouching during an official event. Just bad posture, that's all. But Kim Jong-un didn't like how he sat and called it disrespectful. Soon, the minister was labeled an enemy of the party, interrogated, and then executed. In North Korea, one sleepy moment or even sitting the wrong way could mean death. There's truly no room for mistakes or naps. Deadly phone call in North Korea. Talking to your family should never be a crime, but in North Korea, even one call abroad could cost your life. In this secretive country, calling someone outside the borders is totally illegal. North Korea's only mobile network, called Coralink, blocks all foreign calls, and near the borders, the government uses powerful signal jammers to stop anyone from reaching the outside world. Even though 80% of families have a phone, those phones are tightly controlled. People can only use them for local calls, and every message is watched. The reason? The government wants to keep its people in the dark, afraid they might discover how free and rich the rest of the world is. Now here's the most terrifying part. One wrong call can turn into a nightmare. Before, in 2014, a man secretly used a smuggled phone and a foreign SIM card just to speak with his family in South Korea. But he was caught. The government didn't just punish him, they turned his story into a warning for the whole country. A simple act of love became a deadly mistake. In North Korea, dialing the wrong number doesn't just get you in trouble, it could change your life forever. Banned from using his name. Here's something wild from North Korea. In 2011, right after Kim Jong-un came to power, he made a strange rule. He said no one else in the country could have the same name as him. That's right. If your name was Kim Jong-un, you had to change it no matter who you were. Just like that, many people were forced to pick new names. Imagine waking up one day and being told your name is no longer allowed. But it didn't stop there. His daughter, Kim Jun, is believed to be the next ruler, and now her name is also banned. That means 2 names are now off limits in the entire country. We don't know how many people had to change their names, but Chongwon was pretty common before. It's like he wanted to make sure he stays the only one with that name forever. Secret rule for triplets. In North Korea, having triplets is seen as a lucky sign, but the way the government handles it is shocking. When a woman gives birth to triplets, she's quickly moved to the capital, Pyongyang, for special medical care. The government gives symbolic gifts, a gold ring for each girl and a silver knife for each boy. Sounds generous, right? But here's where things get disturbing. The babies are taken away from their parents and placed in government-controlled nurseries until they turn 4. The reason? The state says it's to protect them, but many families are left heartbroken. Even though triplets grow up with special benefits like better chances in school, the military, and future jobs, their early years are spent far from their families. The state treats them like national treasures, but also keeps them under strict control. What starts as a moment of joy becomes a painful and confusing time for many parents, all because the government wants to raise these special children its own way. Save the portraits, not the people. When fire breaks out or disaster hits, what would you save first, your children or a photo on the wall? In North Korea, the answer is shocking. People are told to rescue the portraits of their leaders, Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, before anything else. These framed pictures are treated almost like holy objects. Leaving them behind during a crisis is seen as a crime. The government demands that every citizen protect these images even before their own family. It sounds unreal, but it's part of daily life there. In one tragic case from 2020, a mother saved her kids from a burning house, but didn't grab the leaders' portraits. Instead of being praised for bravery, she was reportedly sent to prison. This shows how deep the control runs. In North Korea, it's not just about loyalty, it's about putting the leader's image above your own blood. The rules are so strict that even in life or death moments, people fear punishment more than flames. It's a chilling look into a world where survival takes second place to devotion. The mysterious silence of Kim's wife. She always stands beside him, but never says a word. Ri Sol-woo, the wife of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, is often seen at official events, dressed perfectly, smiling politely, yet she never speaks about politics. This isn't just coincidence. Her silence is part of a bigger plan. In a country where freedom of speech doesn't exist and expressing your own views can be dangerous, staying quiet is the safest move, even for the First Lady. Lady Sol-ju is more than just a quiet partner. She's a symbol. The regime uses her silence to show that loyalty comes above everything, even personal voice. Her calm presence, without opinions or influence, helps the regime look strong and united. It sends a clear message to the people. Even those closest to the leader must follow the rules without question. Her silence is not just personal, it's a reflection of the fear and control that grips the entire country. North Korea's beauty rules are terrifying. In North Korea, even how you dress can get you in serious trouble. The First Lady, Ri Sol-ju, is always seen wearing a traditional Korean dress called a hanbok. It's a long, flowing outfit with a fitted jacket meant to show modesty and respect for the country's culture. Her makeup is light, and her hair is always perfect, showing off a quiet and controlled image. But it's not just her. Every woman in North Korea is expected to follow strict rules about how they look. The government doesn't allow tight pants, long-dyed hair, or clothes with English words. If anyone breaks these rules, they're stopped on the street, embarrassed in public, and sometimes forced to wear government-approved clothes. Since 2022, things have gotten even worse. The rules now ban piercings, mullet hairstyles, skinny jeans, and even shorts. Yes, even in the summer heat, women get arrested just for dressing differently, while men still have more freedom with how they look. Young people try to quietly push back, but it's risky. These appearance rules are more than just fashion guidelines. They're a way for the government to control people and stop any sign of outside influence. For many, it's a daily fight just to be themselves. Hidden luxuries of North Korea. North Korea looks like a different world when it comes to famous brands. While cities like New York or Tokyo are full of Coca-Cola signs and McDonald's arches, in North Korea, these Western symbols are seen as enemies of their beliefs. The country bans such brands to protect its socialist image, so you won't find a single McDonald's there. Instead, they have their own version of fast food called samon, but it's only for the lucky few in the capital, Pyongyang. These burger joints aren't for regular people, they mostly serve tourists and the rich, and rumor has it that they're owned by Kim Jong-un's own aunt. Most everyday citizens survive on simple meals like potatoes and kimchi, not because they want to, but because American trade sanctions and local rules make outside products impossible to get. But behind this strict wall of control, there's a surprising twist. If you walk into high-end places like the Daesung department store, you might spot brands like Chanel, Rolex, or Adidas sitting quietly on the shelves. These luxuries are not for the common people, but for the powerful and elite. Even Kim Jong-un's wife has been seen wearing top Western fashion. So while the country preaches equality and anti-capitalism, the reality looks very different. It's not pure communism. It's a world where the rich get what they want and the rest are left behind. North Korea's secret calendar system. Here's something strange you probably never heard. North Korea doesn't follow the same calendar as the rest of the world. While most of us use the Gregorian calendar, North Korea lives in its own timeline, called the Juche calendar. It started from the birth of their founding leader, Kim Il-sung, on April 15, 1912. That date is their year 1. So what we call 2010 is actually Juche year 99 for them. This calendar is built on the idea of Juche, which means total self-reliance, and it's used to separate their identity from the outside world completely. Things get even stranger. The North Korean regime erased almost all history that came before Kim Il-sung's birth. Schools, newspapers, even radio all avoid talking about anything before 1912. This change became official on September 9, 1997, when they fully replaced the international calendar with their own. Since then, even birth certificates and government papers follow the Juche time. It's not just a calendar, it's a daily reminder that time itself belongs to the regime. Every year, every day, every moment, is designed to keep people loyal to the ruling power. North Korea's secret internet. Most people scroll through the internet without limits, but in North Korea, things are completely different. They don't have real internet like the rest of the world. Instead, they use a closed system called Gwangmayung. It was launched in 2014 and only offers about 5,500 websites that are handpicked by the government. You can find simple things like news, video games, and even some entertainment, but every click is watched closely. There's no privacy at all. Only top government officials can access the real internet, and even they are heavily monitored, so they don't see anything from the outside world that the leaders don't approve. In 2016, people discovered that North Korea had made just 28 websites that outsiders could see. These include things like friend.com/KP, which is like a North Korean version of Facebook, but filled with political content. There's also cooks.ogkp for recipes and corefilm.com/KP with North Korean movies, documentaries, and even animal-themed anime. It might sound normal, but in truth, it's like living on a tiny digital island while the rest of the world sails the open internet sea. Everything online there is controlled, shaped, and filtered to make sure the people know only what the state wants them to know. North Korea's scary TV secrets. In most countries, TV shows are fun, colorful, and full of variety, but not in North Korea. Over there, people only get 4 TV channels and all of them praise the country's leaders. That's it. No cartoons from other countries, no music videos, no Hollywood films. Just government-approved content. If anyone is caught with foreign movies or music, they can face serious punishment. Even a simple movie from India could land someone in prison. And if it's American content, things get even scarier. One shocking case made headlines in 2021. A man was reportedly executed for sharing the popular South Korean show Squid Game. The series showed a North Korean defector escaping the regime, which made the government furious. Even though some people doubted the news because of COVID-19 lockdowns, the government never denied it. In a place where books, music, and movies are tightly controlled, this story is a terrifying reminder of how the regime controls minds. By deciding exactly what people can and can't watch. Crazy basketball rules in North Korea. North Korea has its own version of basketball, and it's nothing like the game we know. In this version, a perfect 3-point shot that doesn't touch the rim or backboard is actually worth 4 points. Even slam dunks, which usually score 2, are given 3 points here. But it gets even weirder. If you miss a free throw, your team loses a point. And in the final 3 seconds of a game, any shot made counts for a shocking 8 points. That one shot can flip the whole game at the last second. These strange rules came directly from Kim Jong-il himself. He loved basketball so much that he changed the rules just the way he liked. He was especially a fan of the Chicago Bulls in the 1990s and tried to bring that excitement into his country, but with his own twist. He even allowed games to end in a tie, something rare in international basketball. His changes show not just love for the sport, but also a need to control everything, even a simple game. No smiling allowed in North Korea. This sounds unreal, but in North Korea, smiling can get you into deep trouble, especially on July 8th. That day marks the death anniversary of their former leader, Kim Il-sung, who passed away in 1994. Every year, the entire country is forced to mourn in silence. People are banned from smiling, laughing, talking loudly, dancing, or even drinking alcohol. It's like the whole nation presses pause on joy. Even if your birthday is on that day, you're not allowed to celebrate. The mood is serious, and breaking this rule could send someone to a labor camp or worse. Now here's the part that gets even more extreme. When Kim Jong-il, Kim Il-sung's son, died, the government pushed the sadness to a new level. For the 10th anniversary of his death, laughing was completely banned for 11 straight days. Imagine trying not to smile for nearly 2 weeks. It's more than a rule, it's a national order. This isn't just about respect, it's about fear, control, and a system where joy itself can be seen as a crime. Forced jobs in North Korea. Imagine dreaming of your future job only to be told you have no choice. In North Korea, that's exactly how life works. Kids don't grow up choosing to be doctors or singers. Instead, the government picks your job right after school. They look at how many workers are needed in each area, then send people where they're told. Unless you're rich enough to pay big bribes, and once your job is chosen, that's it. You're stuck there probably forever. Now here's where it gets even harder. Under Kim Jong-un, thousands of students from a potato grooming region were taken to a place called Ryonggang. The government made them live there as full-time potato farmers. They had to build their own houses and accept that their kids would probably grow up doing the same thing. No freedom, no choice, just farming in cold mountains for life. All we can say is those kids better have really liked potatoes. North Korea's secret housing hack. In most countries, owning a house is part of a peaceful dream, but in North Korea, it's a completely different story. The government owns everything, every apartment, every building. People don't buy homes. They are given places to live by the state. And if someone wants to move to Pyongyang, they can't just pack up and go. They need strict permission, which is nearly impossible to get. Selling or renting houses is completely illegal, but that didn't stop people from finding a secret way around the rules. Here's where it gets clever and risky. North Koreans don't own property, but they do have something called residency rights. These are confirmed by a paper called Ipsayung, which says where someone officially lives. Since 2000, people started quietly changing these certificates using new names and canceling old ones. That way they could give their home to someone else. But it's illegal, so bribes are common. A bottle of alcohol or even a few cigarettes can make an official look the other way. Sometimes people pay up to $100 in cash just to keep a roof over their head. In a country where the government controls everything, even this small act of trickery feels like silent resistance. No jokes allowed. In some places, a joke is just a joke, but in North Korea, even a small laugh can turn into a nightmare. There, making fun of the Kim family isn't just rude, it's treated like a crime. Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, and Kim Jong-un are not just seen as leaders, they're treated like gods. Every home has their portraits, and everyone must wear badges with their faces. Even dust on their pictures can get you into trouble. Families are given a special cloth just to keep those portraits clean. That's how serious it is. Some people even start their day by bowing to these pictures like it's a prayer. In North Korea, showing anything less than full respect is dangerous. Just one joke, one wrong word, and your life could change forever. Think about that next time you laugh at a meme or crack a joke about a leader. In your country, that might get you a few likes, but in North Korea, it could get you locked up or worse. Family punished for one crime? What if your brother or sister did something wrong and you were punished for it? In North Korea, this is not just a story, it's real life. There's a cruel rule called the 3-generation punishment. It means if one person breaks the law, their parents, children, and even grandchildren can be locked away forever. Even if a baby is born in prison, that baby grows up behind bars without ever doing anything wrong. This harsh law started after World War II to crush anyone who spoke against the government, and sadly, it's still happening today. Whole families are sent to prison camps for something just one person did. It's a terrifying way to control people by making sure their entire bloodline suffers. In a place like this, being born into the wrong family can be a life sentence. Number 7, banned for believing. In some countries, you're free to believe in any religion you want. But in North Korea, even having a small belief in God can destroy your life. The government forces everyone to be atheists, and about 70% of people have no religion at all. There are a few churches in the capital, Pyongyang, but they aren't real places of worship. Tourists say they're often closed, and when they do open, the sermons are more about praising the leader than preaching faith. Religion, especially Christianity, is seen as a threat to the Kim family's power. Things can get terrifying for anyone caught with religious items. Back in 2014, an American man was jailed for 5 months just for leaving a Bible in a restaurant bathroom. And in 2023, a whole family was arrested for secretly owning a Bible, including their 2-year-old daughter. All of them were given life sentences. In North Korea, it's not just about controlling actions, it's about controlling belief itself. Even the quietest prayer can be treated like a crime. No jeans in North Korea? Can you imagine getting punished just for wearing jeans? In North Korea, that's exactly what happens. Jeans are completely banned because they're seen as a symbol of Western culture, especially American capitalism. Since the country split in 1945, anything linked to the West has been treated like a threat. Under Kim Jong-un's strict rule, the government cracked down even harder in 2020, banning not just jeans, but also pants for women, unless it's a work uniform. They call it protecting tradition, but it feels more like fashion dictatorship. Now here's where it gets even scarier. If a woman is caught breaking this dress code, she's not just fined or warned. The youth league interrogates her, forces her to write a full confession, and then blasts her name, address, and job over public loudspeakers to shame her in front of everyone. Some say a woman wearing American clothes was even thrown into a men's prison due to lack of space, where she was left unprotected. Just think, while people around the world post wild outfits on TikTok, North Koreans can't even choose their own pants. Ban for riding a bike. In most parts of the world, riding a bicycle is just a normal part of life, but not in North Korea. In Pyongyang, the capital city, bicycles were once completely banned. The government believed people should jump straight from walking to cars, skipping bicycles entirely. So in the 1980s and early 1990s, cycling was illegal. But when the economy collapsed in 1991, even basic needs like food became hard to afford, let alone cars. Realizing their mistake, the government lifted the ban on bikes in 1992. Since then, bicycles have slowly returned to the streets, but cars still remain a luxury for most people. But things took a bizarre turn in 1995. The government banned women from riding or even owning bicycles. Officials claimed women on bikes were too provocative and not fit to handle traffic. Sounds ridiculous? That's because it was. Worldwide stats actually show men cause way more traffic accidents than women. In the US alone, men were responsible for over 21,000 deadly crashes in 2021, while women were linked to only about 6,000. The ban on female cyclists was lifted briefly in 2012, then brought back in 2013. Today, it's not strictly followed, mostly because public transport is still so limited. Bikes are back, but women in North Korea are still fighting for their basic rights. North Korea's rules are more than strange. They're scary. It's like living with no freedom at all. If this shocks you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more dark stories. See you in the next video.